Thanks so much, Professor Robert. And now we have one who has graciously agreed to be our last reader for the evening. Professor Yutan Getzler is Associate Professor of Chemistry at Kenyon College with an interest in sustainability and recycling, which alongside the Anthropocene and climate change are very hotly debated topics today. So we welcome you to the Kenyon IITM workshop and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Dr. Kamya. And I really liked that phrasing of the great integrator. That was nice turn of phrase, Bob. So this is, I'm going to be reading from a paper that I co-authored with Professor Jeffrey Coates that was published this year in Nature Reviews Materials, and the title is Chemical Recycling to Monomer for an Ideal Circular Polymer Economy. Plastics seem to be everywhere. Analyses of soil, water, or biological organisms confirm and amplify that initial impression. Annual growth in global polymer production has consistently outpaced both global gross domestic product and population growth. The properties of strength and durability that make plastics so useful during their functional lifetimes are profound drawbacks at end of life, as these materials are overwhelmingly landfilled or leaked into the environment. The annual loss in value of single-use packaging waste, equating to 47% of polymer waste, is estimated at $80 to $120 billion. This corresponds to 95% of the embedded value. This figure does not include externalized environmental costs. Recovered plastics are either valorized through closed loop and cascade recycling, or more commonly, combusted for energy production. However, most plastics are relegated to a landfill or are leaked into the environment. Living in the Anthropocene, a geologic epoch defined by the unforeseen and unintended consequences of industrial production, we must ask, if at the outset of commodity polymer synthesis, we had known what we know now, how would we have designed our materials differently? The next grand challenge for polymer chemistry is to develop materials that can be efficiently recycled directly into their own starting materials, chemical recycling to monomer, CRM. Polymers produced from recovered monomer feedstock have no loss of properties. Moreover, the process recovers embedded value and mitigates environmental effects. Yet, CRM capability is not sufficient to establish an ideal polymer economy. Polymer performance must meet the demands of diverse applications. The ideal properties of a polymer depend on the intended use. Polyolefins have long constituted the largest segment of the polymer market, consistently amounting to more than half of global primary polymer production and waste. Consequently, the development of materials that serve as polyolefin replacements would have the largest potential economic and environmental impact. In this light, key targets for the next generation of plastics are the thermomechanical properties of polyolefins. These are the properties against which new polymers are first compared in this review. Beyond properties, other aspects of an ideal polymer recycling system include little to no monomer or additive, little to no residual monomer or additive, an accessible pathway for CRM, use of earth-abundant catalysts, and the ability to sustain infinite polymerization depolymerization cycles. Monomer sourcing and cost are intentionally absent from this list. If the material can be easily depolymerized to monomer, higher initial cost may be offset. We begin this review by discussing current polymer end-of-life fates. To understand the thermodynamic and kinetic context of CRM, we then examine the energetics of polymerization and depolymerization. Given the importance of polyolefins, we briefly address their synthesis, properties and challenges to recycling before examining we briefly address their synthesis, properties, and the challenges to recycling before examining examples of polyolefin CRM. Excellent reviews on polymer recycling can be found elsewhere. We do not address the cracking of biopolymers, self-immolative materials, cross-link materials, or entropy-driven ring-opening polymerization. although all of these could offer productive routes for depolymerization or polymer recycling. Instead, we focus on linear thermoplastics as they constitute the largest portion of polymer